Giant Saquon Barkley is taking all future endorsement pays in Bitcoin. It caught my eye and I found it quite fascinating because that's the first superstar that I know that's actually taking this step. So let's talk about it, y'all. In what is perceived to be a win for cryptocurrency in many quarters, New York Giants running back Saquon Barkley has announced that, going forward, he would be receiving all endorsements payments in the oldest and biggest cryptocurrency in the world, Bitcoin. This announcement was made by Barkley himself during an appearance on an episode of The Best Business Show, a show that is run by Anthony Pompliano, who is an expert in all things crypto. Speaking on the show, Barkley said, "You see inflation and you see how high it is right now, and you learn that you can't save your wealth. So that's why I'll be taking my marketing money in Bitcoin," Barkley revealed. According to Barkley, since coming into the league, it had always been his plan to live off the money made from marketing and endorsement. But citing his fears about inflation, the Giants football player believes it makes more sense to invest in Bitcoin and to take his payments through the crypto app Strike. Although not yet available in New York, Strike permits users to send and receive payments using Bitcoin. Despite Bitcoin's volatility, especially following its dramatic drop in value in the first half of this year, Barkley's decision is an indicator that the cryptocurrency is still growing in popularity among celebrities, which is something that many Bitcoin enthusiasts would be glad to see. Although some might be a bit more skeptical following Musk's controversial influence over the value of crypto in recent times. However, Barkley must have a lot of confidence in Bitcoin to be making this huge decision. According to Joe Pompliano, a man who is an expert in breaking down the money behind sports as a business, Saquon Barkley, or should I say Say, earns more than $10 million in endorsements alone every year. And this is a figure that Barkley himself has publicly acknowledged. These endorsements come through several lucrative deals, signed with companies like Dunkin' Donuts, Nike, Toyota, Pepsi, Visa, and Hulu. Now, all the money that Barkley gets from these endorsements will be paid to him in Bitcoin, $10 million worth of Bitcoin per year. It is a huge bet on the cryptocurrency placed by Barkley, but if it pays off, Barkley could hit it big with Bitcoin. However, if things don't go as planned, he still has a safety net of his 4-year, $31.2 million contract, which will come to an end after the 2022 season, making him a free agent. But the Giants is a small organization, so that won't happen. Barkley would then almost certainly opt to sign a more lucrative deal afterwards, with his prime years still seemingly ahead of him. Barkley's decision has come on the back of a recent partnership deal struck between the New York Giants and Grayscale Investments, a cryptocurrency company. The deal saw the Giants become the first NFL franchise with a cryptocurrency sponsorship. Speaking of sports teams and their relationships with cryptocurrencies, in June, NBA basketball franchise the Sacramento Kings announced that their staff could get a portion of their salaries paid in Bitcoin if they so desired. This is a huge step forward towards innovation in terms of how you're getting paid, so maybe, indeed, after all, Bitcoin will no longer be a trend after all. In a clubhouse discussion, the CEO, chairman, and governor of the Sacramento Kings, Vivek, made the announcement saying, "I'm going to announce in the next few days that I'm going to offer everyone in the Kings organization they can get paid as much of their salary in Bitcoin as they want, including the players." The ideal of paying professional players in Bitcoin is not new. Back in May of 2019, Carolina Panthers offensive tackle Russell Okung tweeted, "Pay me in Bitcoin." And in December last year, Okung became the first professional athlete across all major sports in the US to be paid in Bitcoin. Although Okung was not directly paid in Bitcoin tokens, the NFL player converted half of his annual $13 million salary to Bitcoin through a company called Zap. The company owns the Strike app, which enables payments to be made using Bitcoin, as well as the conversions of fiat to Bitcoin. Back in December 2020, when Okung converted $7.5 million from his salary to Bitcoin, The cryptocurrency sold at approximately $27,318. By March of 2021, Bitcoin was selling at almost twice that price, meaning that Okun could have made a huge profit if he had cashed out on his investment at that specific time. Saquon Barkley would probably be looking to do the same. In 2019, Mark Cuban's Dallas Mavericks started to accept Bitcoin as a payment for game tickets and the purchase of merchandise through a platform called BitPay. Possibly, in the near future, the Dallas Mavericks would be able to pay their staff in Bitcoin just as the Sacramento Kings are planning to do as well. The Kings' decision to pay their staff in crypto has been 7 years in the making since they began accepting Bitcoins as payments for tickets and merchandise. At the time, in 2014, the value of Bitcoin was around $1,000, far lower than its current value. The move allowed the Kings to establish a balance sheet that held Bitcoin, enabling them to pay staff using Bitcoin. Another sports star who has been linked with the trend of getting paid in crypto is NFL tight end and free agent Sean Culkin, who told MarketWatch that he would convert his entire 2021 NFL salary to Bitcoin. Culkin said he was taking this move because he was worried about getting broke after retirement like some other professional athletes. Smart man. For Saquon Barkley, just like Okun, it is unlikely that his endorsement fees would be paid directly in Bitcoin. Instead, he will be using Zap's Strike apps to convert his $10 million endorsement fees to Bitcoin. And while Barkley looks to secure his crypto investments off the field, the NFL player would soon be turning attention to the upcoming 2021 to 2022 NFL season, which is scheduled to begin this September. Back in September of 2020, on the first play of the second quarter in a game against the Bears in Chicago, Barkley tore his anterior cruciate ligament in what turned out to be a season-ending injury for him. The injury was a huge setback for Barkley, who proceeded to delete every Instagram post on his account the night he was injured, except for his tribute post to the late NBA legend Kobe Bryant. Barkley has also been slowly working his way back to the full fitness through physiotherapy and rehab treatments. He has spent most of his off-season training with Daniel Jones, Sterling Shep, David Sill, and a few others. However, there is no clear indication of the exact date of his return. Speaking on his recovery, Barkley revealed that the knee now feels pretty good, and he tries to get better one day at a time, which is the right mentality to take within anything you're approaching within life. The Giants opened their regular season on September 12th against the Broncos at MetLife Stadium. Clearly, the Giants will need Barkley on the pitch next season, just as much Barkley would need the Giants as he enters his final season before becoming an unrestricted free agent. Already, the president and co-owner of the Giants has said that if a long-term deal is to be struck with Saquon Barkley after the upcoming season, then that would depend on the running back's performance in the coming months. So, for Barkley, he's got a big season ahead of him, and we're hoping it turns out well for himself and as well for the Giants. Alright, y'all. This is your bro Lee from Hustle League. Till next time, I'm out.